Hello and welcome to another episode of Rate That Full Art Supporter, in which today we're going to be looking at no other than Brigette. So if you played this game for a couple of years, you know what Brigette does. So the question now is, what does it actually do? Now, let's take a look closer at the text here. So what it says is that you can search your deck for one basic Pokemon EX or three basic Pokemon, except Pokemon EX, right? And put them onto your bench. So there's a couple of notice things we have to, address here first. First, you have to put them on your bench. So no, they don't go into your hand, they go straight onto your bench. Fair, but it also means that abilities, such as come into play powers or come into play abilities, they won't work. Like we're going to be discussing Tapu Lele later, but for instance, you can't just find Crobat the Dene or anything and expand it with this one and use it. That wouldn't work. Now the second thing is here, one basic EX or basic Pokemon. It mentions nothing about Pokemon GX or Pokemon V for that matter. V, not so interesting at this point here, but when this was legal in Standard, Pokemon GX were later introduced while this card was still legal. Therefore, there was a loophole and it became a really, really strong card. Now, before we get into the ranking what you guys have given, let's look at what this card is called around the world. And again, we have similar things to say about this card, but let's say, so at Brigette, see, let's think about Portuguese. They keep most of the time with the name, right? Anybody Portuguese speaking out there knows about the cards. Let me know if they actually have some name changes. I have not noticed that many, to be honest. German, we have Linette, Juliette in French, and Colette in Italian. Nereida, if I'm pronouncing that correct, in Spanish. That seems a little odd, or maybe I'm missing a link here, but we're gonna come back to that name a little later here. Now, first, let's look at what you guys rated this card as. Remember, you can follow in the link in the description below to rate the following supporters for the next coming episode, so you also have a voice in this. We can rate from 1 being bad, 5 up to being great on standard, expanded, uniqueness, and artwork. If you look up here in the upper left corner, left and right, then we have to see what is the rated in standard, and it's actually quite amazing. You see a bunch of 5s, only very few 3s and 4s, not a single 1 or 2 because everybody kind of agreed this card is pretty damn great. Even expanded with a card pool as well, expanded, we see that it still attains very, very high grades. Uniqueness, not so much, because there actually been quite a few cards that does a similar thing. On top of my head, you have Pokemon Collector, similar, Sans Research, sort of similar, Lanette's Research, Lanette, and what else did we have? Hole on Mentor, for instance. So yeah, hence why this uniqueness may be a little lower. But artwork, as with most of these full art supporters, it is great. I've heard a lot of people go nuts about this artwork here. Personally, it's good. Not the best in my opinion, but let's leave it with that. Now let's put all these grades together. Remember, we're going to rank them or value them a quarter each, so 25% each, and simply just take the weighted average to get the overall ranking, which is a very, very solid 3.78. Now the question then becomes, how much is 3.78 worth compared to all the other supporters we have already covered? Now let's just take a look at the list. So what rank is it? Now you look at the list, Lysander's trump card, still solid first. We have to go all the way down to number 12 to find Brigette. It sneaks in right above AC, simply because, tiebreaker in this case, it was different down to, I believe in this case, the 4th decimal. So, Brigette wins. And aside from that, it also had the most 5 scores, so highest scores, if we have to come to a tiebreaker. Now, we still have, can't even see him here anymore on the list. Sharon, you're still rocking the bottom, so yeah. Before we leave you with this here, let's take a look at the bonus facts that you guys send in. Again, you can always share your bonus facts when you fill out the survey. And yes, Lana is Nereida in Spanish. Actually, Brigette only appeared in, one card, and it actually took 12 years to be featured on a card after her little sister in game Lanette was. Host a Pokemon Bank, sure, and give you a Pichu egg if you actually store a lot of Pokemon. Why would you ever store 1,499 Pokemon? We don't even have that many. We just tipped 900 this past week with the release of, an evolution for Standard and an evolution for Basculin. They're badass. Go check them out. And finally, search your deck for free Tapu Lele GX. This is, I wouldn't call it a meme, maybe not, But the point is, you had so many people who would just play down a Tapu Lele, which could search your deck for a supporter card, and literally just go straight for finding 3 basic Pokemon, simply forgetting to pick out the Brigette because there's such a standard motion in game at some point that everybody would just go, okay, I'll find Tapu Lele, play Tapu Lele, search my deck for 3 basic Pokemon and bench them. So typically 3 Soruas if you played Zoroark, say, which was very common at that point in time. All this gathered together was, simply made for this funny scenario. I've done it myself. I've stopped my opponents from doing it. I've seen many people do it. It's quite funny to observe. But yeah, these were the bonus facts for today, and the only thing I have left for you guys is to look at who's up next. Now, I can already foresight a little bit here and say that this card may not get the same ranking, but show some love for our Giovanni here, okay? So we got Giovanni's Scheme coming up next. And with that said, that was all we have for this episode, and until next time.